In this video, I'm going to be reviewing the Bushnell Excel golf watch and talking about whether or not it's worth picking up. So what we're going to be covering in this video are my first impressions of the watch, what it actually does, how it performed, the pros and cons, and also the best place to pick it up. So I will just mention our gear giveaway. If you want to enter in, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment giveaway down below. Simply do all three and you'll be automatically entered. Okay, so let's start with my first impressions. So this watch came out in 2017 and was designed to pretty much replace the previous Bushnell Neo Ion watch. It is a fairly inexpensive watch and is more for like the beginner golfer or someone who's a bit tighter on a budget. It doesn't have all the features in the world like some of the other ones, but it does have pretty much all the basic features that you would need on the course. So what features does it actually have? So the XL is going to give you the distance to the front, middle, and back of the green, as well as the distance to different hazards and also to dogleg distances. It is Bluetooth compatible, so you can get notifications and alerts from your phone. If you do really need that, I don't use that at all, but some people do want that, so I guess that's a good plus to it. It also has over 36,000 courses around the world, which is plenty, not quite as much as the Garmin's, but it is relatively good. And the feature I used most was the shot distance function. It really helped me dial in my distance. Before I had something like this to tell me the distance, I was always kind of guessing and never really knew how far I was hitting each shot. I always found myself overshooting or undershooting. So it really helps understanding how far you hit each club, and it's really going to help you lower scores. So those are kind of the main features that it does have. Let's talk a little bit about the design. So I found the watch to be pretty good looking and also pretty comfortable. It does come with a 25 by 25 millimeter color display. One negative I had with it was the fact that the screen was fairly dim and a little bit harder to read in sunlight. There wasn't very many, it wasn't very bright, so if you were in kind of direct sunlight, it was relatively hard to read. Another thing is that it didn't seem as well built as some of the other watches on the market. It didn't break or anything like that, but it definitely feels a little bit like it could, almost like a toy a little bit. So those kind of the two negatives I had with the design. But how did it perform? It's kind of the main thing that really matters. But in terms of performance, the XL was right up there with others in this price range. It wasn't as good as like a laser rangefinder. And it wasn't as good as some of the higher end watches, but it was always within about 5 yards of the course markers, which is pretty standard across this price range in terms of GPSs. One of the negatives I had with this watch was that it took quite a while to lock in on the satellites, and it did take a bit longer than some to give you your yardage, but it wasn't too bad. But that was kind of one thing I definitely noticed with it. Battery life was decent and lasted 2 full rounds no problem, which is pretty standard across these GPS watches. Okay, so pros, it's an affordable golf watch. It's just as accurate as any others in this price range. It gives you the yardage to hazards and doglegs, and that's going to tell you how far you hit each of your shots. Cons, the screen is fairly dim and hard to read in sunlight. It takes quite a while to locate the courses and distances. It doesn't seem to be the most well-built watch out there, and then it sometimes loses signal. Okay, so those are kind of the main pros and cons to it. But let's talk about the breakdown. So performance, we'll give it a 7, price score 8, quality score 7, my personal score is 7.5, which is not the greatest. There's definitely worse out there, but there are definitely better ones as well. Frequently asked questions. So does the watch keep score? Yes, it does. Does it come with an app? Yes, you can download the app to see your whole overviews and also distances to see where you shot and all that kind of stuff, which is definitely pretty cool. What comes with it? So you get the watch, a belt clip, and a storage pouch. Okay, so is it worth it? Take into account all the pros, all the cons. So I would say there are some good features on the XL, but it isn't good enough for me to recommend. Our favorite golf watch in this price range is the Garmin Approach S20, so I will leave a link for that down below. It's pretty much the same price. It has more courses and more features. It comes with a better app and is much more consistent. Again, that's just my personal opinion. We've tested out quite a few of the watches, and the S20 is our favorite in this kind of lower, entry-level price range. But if you would like to see more images or reviews of any of the mentioned products, or you want to get any of them for the lowest price available, click the link in the description down below. At the time of the video, that was the best place I could find it, so you can go ahead and check out the current price if you want. And if you have any questions, leave a comment down below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And that's going to be it for the video. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one.